Hey everybody, and welcome to another video. My name is Adam, and this week we are playing Explorer Jund Atraxa. Atraxa is the new breakout mythic from Phyrexia All Will Be One. It does a really good Griselbrand impression, or Griselbrand might do a really good Atraxa impression. So when she hits the battlefield, first of all, she is a 7/7 Flying Vigilance Death Touch Lifelinker for whopping 7 mana across 4 colors. Not including red, which is kind of like the base of our deck. However, Atraxa comes into play, you look at the top 10 cards of your deck. For each card type, you may take a card among the cards revealed, put it in your hand. So, with a very minor deck building restriction, Atraxa is good to pick up somewhere between 3 and like 6 cards, which is massive. It's a great way to stabilize, especially with your 7/7 Flying Death Touch Vigilance creature. This is very difficult to remove, and by the time your opponent does, the damage is done. So how are we taking advantage of it? Some formats have tried to adjust with Indomitable Creativity. I think that Explorer can go in a slightly different direction. So instead of Creativity, we were playing Transmogrify. So exile target creature, reveal until you hit a creature, put into play. Slightly different than Creativity, which is able to hit artifacts. However, we have some payoffs, or other setup cards that also kind of work in the mid-game, like Eska's Cherry and Reckoner Bankbuster, which we really don't want to give up, at least not with this current build. So we put tokens into play off of, say, Opnixilis, off our Cultivation, even the Reckoner Bankbuster. It's not unlikely to, say, tick this down and make the token, exile the token, or even crew it, and then exile the Bankbuster that way. You also have token makers in Fable the Mirror Breaker. Liliana Death's Majesty does double duty, so not only does it make tokens, but it can mill Atraxa into your graveyard while also reanimating the Atraxa. It's kind of like a 1-2 punch, especially with Atraxa being able to find the Liliana. So if your opponent has a non-exile based removal, Liliana can just pick it right back up and just hammer them home. As far as our interaction goes, we have 4 copies of Fatal Push, 4 copies of Thoughtseize, Sheoldred's Edict, which is another new card which has been phenomenal. Your typical Edict, your opponent does get to choose what they get rid of. However, you are able to narrow down what those options are, so your opponent can't really finagle with, let's say, a token creature and then the actual, like, let's say 3/3 that you want to kill. It's really, really clean way of getting rid of Graveyard Trespasser, as well as big bombs like Sheoldred. Terra Sunder is kind of a catch-all. This hits a lot of the artifacts and enchantments that are running around. So it can exile, say, a Sky Sovereign or a Parhelion, or you can just pour the full 4 mana and it's just an unconditional removal spell. Really solid card that I'm happy to have as a one-of. I might even go up to 2 copies. Not 100% on that quite yet, but the card has just overperformed. I guess before we go into the sideboard, look at the mana base. Some Jund lands, some highlights standing out. You have Blackleaf Cliffs, which is a reprint and new to Pioneer. And then your Sokenzan and your Boseiju. 1 basic of each of your non-black sources. All in all, lands seem fine. I'm curious if I can accommodate something like a Den of the Bugbear in here somewhere. Just being an additional token producer is not irrelevant. Though if my opponent's going to have interaction up, they're probably going to burn it on the creature land. Looking to the sideboard, so 3 copies of Duress, which go really, really well with Thoughtseize against a control deck. You're able to sneak in your combo underneath it, or pluck out, say, a Supreme Verdict or something that they're sitting on as an actual answer. Fungal Infection was actually a really cute card that I saw off of the list that I copied here. So not only does this pluck out a typically something in mono white, most likely it's going to be Thalia's Lieutenant or Thalia herself, but that deck has a bunch of X1s as well, just like 2/1 creatures for 1. Even, oh god, what is the card called? The 2-drop that puts a 1/1 counter each turn. Aspirant something Doesn't matter. Point being, it's a 1/1. And it dies to a 1-mana fungal infection, which incidentally also creates a token creature for us. So in addition to its normal blow-up potential, this is a potential combo piece, so we can keep a critical mass when we are in our post-board version of the deck. Pithy Needle is there just as a catch-all. It's really good against mono green with their several planeswalkers. It can stop, say, Unlicensed Terse from plucking out an Atraxa from our graveyard if our deck is on the Liliana plan. Damping Sphere, similarly, it stops the mono green Nykthos Devotion deck. Unlicensed Terse stops similar kinds of reanimator builds. It's also just really nice at keeping your opponent off a critical density of Graveyard Matters cards. Brotherhood's End is a great board wipe. It also can destroy all artifacts, which is not irrelevant, given that Red-Black Sack is on the uptick, especially after this past weekend at the Pro Tour. There was a Pioneer build splashing white from Autumn Burchett, which included Rite of Oblivion and Showdown of the Skalds. So I expect that those types of decks might see a little bit more play as a result of that kind of appearance. And then we have Ritual Soot, which, similar to Brotherhood's End, it's a board wipe. It's good against creature decks. In particular, it's really good against Angels, which has a base level, has a lot of X4s, but those X4s also increase the power and toughness of the rest of the board. So Ritual Soot hits everything in that deck. They are a company deck. So you're just kind of diversifying your removal suite based off of what you might end up seeing. All in all, this deck has performed pretty well for me. I am excited to give it a little bit more of a spin. And I think that's one of the big takeaways from this new format is just Atraxa is really good and putting into play is really good. I am curious how the format will adapt to deal with it. As always, this video is brought to you by QuietSpeculation.com. Quiet Speculation is a Magic the Gathering finance website, but they do a lot of really cool stuff as far as constructed metagames go. Videos like this, really awesome group of folks. Highly recommend them. Please check them out. And if you are interested in any of my stuff, you can find me here on Twitch at AceXSpades, where I'm recording live. I also am very active on Twitter, so follow me at Adam E. Cohen over there. With my spiel out of the way, we have an opponent. Let's dive into it. This hand seems fine. It's a little slow, but we are on the play. Bankbuster is going to dig us out of any sort of trouble. Children's Edict's going to be nice. Thoughtseize is probably taking the Bankbuster then. Even still, we have this Ob, which will accumulate some value. Alright, so we take the Bankbuster. I don't really want to give him the information on the Proving Grounds. I can cast all my spells here. If I draw an Esca's Chariot, then I'm going to win it. But in the meantime, I am fine sitting tight. Opponent's going to take the Ob. Alright, so I have nothing that I am Ooh. Okay, never mind. So,
families
not
be their adversary.
not the most powerful planeswalker right now. You really want to be able to casualty this, but even still, in a really good spot. All right, so we're gonna drain them first.
Defy me, and you'll lose everything.
Sacrifices a creature token. Yeah, why not? They have something with haste, they have something with haste. So something that I noticed a very common line for this deck. So Atraxa comes down, and you draw your handful of cards. One of those is very often going to be Ob Nixilis. So you sacrifice the Atraxa, you get an Obnix token with 7 loyalty. You're able to immediately downtick, and then basically fireball your opponent for 7. Okay, well we drew the Transmog, so I would love to upgrade this into an Atraxa. Let's undo everything my opponent just did to us. Alright, I would like 1, 2. Tear Asunder seems better to me than the push. I can take a Transmog, and I get a land here. I have basically perfect mana, so it's not going to matter much. 3 black sources, 2 red sources. I think black's probably still more important. Cool. And that's all she wrote. Alright, so my opponent is on red-black mid-range, it looks like. So I'm going to want Brotherhood's End. And I think I want Pithing Needle. Do I want Pithing Needle? Yeah. So, worst case, I can name Reflection of Kiki Jiki, but more likely than not, I'll be naming Unlicensed Hearse off of them. The question is, what are my cuts? These seem a little mediocre. My opponent is presumably going to have a Braids. I don't think I need 2 Pithing Needles. That might be overkill. We'll see if I want the Ritual set. I don't think I do. I think the Brotherhood's End is just going to be a little bit cheaper, and it's going to have the same effect. I'm not expecting my opponent to have... Ooh, what is this? Phyrexian Obliterator in their list. Sure. They're going to Thoughtseize me on turn 1, most likely. I don't think they take the Needle. They probably take the push. Unless they have multiple discard outlets, in which case Transmog is the right call. Sure, here's a Proving Ground. That was a great draw for me. Marsh. This might be a little forward here. Unlicensed Hearse. This might be a mistake. It does open me up to a Braid or a K command. I expected them to have a Fable here. I'm gonna pop the token while I have the opportunity. Alright, here's my Fable. So they know I have this Transmog. There's no way my token's living. And I don't really feel comfortable going for it unless they tap out here. And I can't imagine they would. I think I actually want to keep all these, right? Like, I'm pretty okay with this hand. Alright. I hate having to cast the Ob like this, but it is what it is.
Notions up. You work for me now, Ron. That matters is power.
Oh, perfect. Alright, so they have tapped out to play their Shield. I would love to. This actually turns on Fatal Push. Which I did find, but they have scooped. Alright. Round 1 in the books. I don't think I mentioned it at the start, but the plan is to play 5 games on ladder, then debrief. So we are 1 down. It's kind of a difficult part about playing the red-black deck. You both need to deploy enough threats and pressure at sorcery speed while also holding up typically multiple pieces of removal at all times. I don't think my opponent timed their removal quite well, but even still, it's a difficult and careful balance. This hand seems great. So I can, unless my opponent has something to say about it, I have Careful Cultivation on 2 into Obnix. I also have the option to Tear Asunder, depending on what my opponent plans to do. I could also just jam the Fable, which might be the better line in the blind. Another black deck. Alright. Pluck away. Take the Ob. That was a good draw. I think I just go for the Bankbuster in this case. If they have another Thoughtseize, they take the Fable. They kept a one-lander? You can't do that. You can't keep one land Thoughtseize. Presumably it's just a bunch of pushes, but like, you want to trade a Fatal Push, your second or third land, and I have a Fable up? No way. Absolutely not. I'm going out on a limb here. My opponent's playing red-black. It is one of the most popular decks. This seems like the most likely of situations. So, sorry, not bringing hers. I'll bring in a needle. This might still be wrong. I can trim on these. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. Might be picking up a very quick second win here. I can't keep this. But I can keep this. Alright. I'll throw the Liliana back. It's the most likely to be disrupted. Okay, or I'll just draw the second one. Sure, that's fine. Let's see what you got. Mono black. I will take the proactive card, leave you with the reactive one, and... Oh, well, I'm being... Not mono black, there's literally a blood crypt here. So it is... Red, black... Like we called it. But I'm gonna hit some land drops. Ooh, I don't like that.
A fight? And you... We all have things we'd rather forget.
I think I get rid of the Lily. And then I get rid of the push.
You won't be outsmarting me.
Alright. They can kill a cat. Discard or Edicts? Discard.
I'm tired of your secrets.
Oh. That worked out really well. I can just clear out the Lily now. I'd love to keep this one. Alright. Well, my opponent has a Den of the Bugbear, and that is it. And they're done. Cool. Okay. Jump up to Diamond 3. we're going to hop into our third. Once again, this video is brought to you by Quiet Speculation. QuietSpeculation.com. I love the art direction for the Phyrexia sets. Like, this is so cool. This is so cool. Like, the card's mid, but the art is so good. Jingatax's avatar here. Now this is a borderline one. If they have interaction, I'm in trouble. I need something a little more proactive. It does have land drops. I do have push, but I think I can do better. Yeah, this is better. I'll put back a Bank Buster. Clear the way with a Thoughtseize. Dear Lord. Alright, so my opponent's not really doing anything for a while. I can take the Deluge. If I hit an untapped land... Alright. So I'm going to play the Bank Buster. If I whiff on an untapped land, I can just play the Proving Ground and then draw a card off the Bank Buster. Alright, we hit. Cool. We get the Go for the Throat out of their hand, which is also really important here. That's Swamp? Oh wait, never mind, I have Water Grave. Okay, didn't want to draw an Atraxa. I think the land's probably still fine here. Alright, well now... Yeah, I'll be cycling it anyway, so... Might as well do it off of... Or might as well cycle this one and get the fixing on this. But they're going to be functionally the same. I'm going to no block here. Alright, so I did hit. No, that's fine. If they had something, they would have used it. If it's a bounce spell, sure. If I get blown out here, I get blown out here. Baleful Mastery. Alright, so I guess it's fine doing it the way I did it. Four, five, six. This puts me in a bit of a weird spot. Yep. baits the line out so that they tap out on their turn, but I'm in a lot of trouble here. Play a chariot out. I'll play the land. They copied the Gear Hulk. Oh, never mind. They just have another Magma Opus. All right. That wasn't fun. All right. Oop, that was not what I wanted. Duress. That. Fungal infection doesn't do anything here. Needle on what? Could technically needle on Magma Opus, but I think that's bad. I can get rid of these fatal pushes, I think. They have Haul and they have the token there. Yeah, I can trim the edicts. And I'll go down to 1 push. Do they have any other creature lands other than Haul? No? Cool. Okay. Yeah, this is fine. Okay, we're down a game in round 3. Doesn't cast Duress, but it casts everything else. Yeah, that's fine. Sage is actually really nice here. It's an uncounterable answer to Gear Hulk if we want it. Cultivation. Baleful Mastery or a Magma Opus? Yeah, I'll take the Mastery. Can probably... Nah, I should keep a Thoughtseize for later. Really? They didn't activate it? I guess they want to cycle. Okay, that's fair. Tap these two. Hit you for 6. That one. Sure. we'll play the land out. Being a smidge over technical here. In the event that they only have one basic. Oh no, Boseiju gets basic land types too. Or sorry, non-basic with basic land types. So they wouldn't whiff either way. But make it slightly harder for them, I guess. I don't know. Probably was a little fancier than I needed to be. Good to know that they have Censor. I didn't see that in game 1. Anything of note other than that? Not really? They didn't really show me much. Just a bunch of removal. And we're in a pretty good spot here with our discard outlets there. Or discard cards, not... Excuse me, discard outlets. I am not speaking words well today. Okay, we're going into game 3 with a really good hand. I'll lead on Duress. Aether Gust. Well, Aether Gust doesn't do anything on this hand, so I'm going to take the Fable and then get an Unlicensed Hearse down. Sure. Opponent is bricking hard. That's a good sign for me. I've got 2 cards in my graveyard, might as well. Yeah, I'm gonna lead off like this. They have 2 unknowns. And if either Gearhulk... Yeah, I'll pay it. Yeah. Alright, so this helps me clear the way for this Liliana. Alright, so we now know what my opponent has drawn for the turn. Liliana is clear. I can actually tick her up and then hold up the Unlicensed Hearse as a blocker. Why would they crack the passage? That's actually really nice. Oh, I could have Thoughtseize myself. Whoops.
Good news,
and then just reanimated.
Servitude. Think of it as partnership.
I did not hit one. Three, 4, 5, 6. They can't. Oh no! If they attack, they actually can Magma Opus this turn, if they draw it. I imagine they pitch the 2 lands though. This was a misplay. This was an absolute misplay. Yeah, they pitched the lands. All right. So they have Oh, that's actually really nice of you. Thank you. For an artifact, I'll discard my Atraxa.
Oh, cut that out.
Let's get back Atraxa. Cycling sensor's a good sign. Cycling a Xander's Lounge is even better.
Back from the dead.
I will take a hearse. Guess I take a Thoughtseize. Choose up to 5. Now the question is, do I want the Atraxa in my hand? Sure, I guess. I do have the Fable. Though the mana in this deck is a little awkward in that, like, I can't cast the Atraxa off of a single treasure. I would need 2. And the likelihood of that is a little low. Alright, we are 3-0. Turns out Atraxa is really good. She came in, drew us 5 cards, and we didn't even won all of them. That's a good sign. Hand looks great. I have a Fable on 3. Terra Sender can be interaction. I have this Chariot. So they're on goblins. I'm gonna put this Squee, and from the look of this Prospector, ooh, that's a really nice pickup. Gives me something to do on turn 2. Oh, I was gonna say, I think Skirk Prospector shows up in the words. That's actually a really nice draw as well. Okay, so I'm totally missing the mark. There's a Goblin Charge Belcher deck in Historic. I'm playing Explorer, so never mind, not relevant. But here's this Fable. I will use it to discard this Atraxa. I'll stick this Chariot next turn and hopefully stabilize. I do alternatively have Boseiju as an option to get rid of Terra Sunder, or if my opponent plays another Lord, I'm okay with that. Yeah, I'll trade here. Super happy for that. Not a goblin. I do think I value the Boseiju less than the 2-life. So they can pump and then attack, and then that will trigger the Battlecry Goblin. Was this their 3rd land? Did they miss the land? I guess they missed the land. Okay. Don't think they can attack here. I mean, they can with just the battle cry. I'm okay with trading with one of my vehicles. I just don't know which one. Yeah, I think I can trade with the chariot here. It's legendary anyway. I have to draw another. Each opponent sacrifices a non-token creature. I am okay with either of these lords going away. Cool. Gonna hit you for 4. Alright, we're gonna downgrade this cat.
I'm the new boss.
Make a devil.
Join me. Go
Drain you.
sow some chaos. By coin or
This
card.
until the end of your next turn. So they do actually get the Battlecry Goblin. And they pitch a squee. That's good to know. 4 cards in graveyard. So they need 1 more card in their graveyard for squee to come back. They can't really attack in with the goblin. I guess now they can. Prospector. We're gonna kill the Kiki. Okay. You were tapped out. Are you sacrificing your goblins? Are you gonna sacrifice Skirk Prospector and Hobgoblin Bandit Lord to attack in with your Battlecry Goblin? Please. And thank you. Let's make a devil.
My goons will
Drain
make
you.
quick work of you. Go ahead. Plead for mercy.
So I'm not gonna Thoughtseize. I'm gonna stop at next combat. This way they can't get their squee back with haste unless they sacrifice their prospector or have some other way of putting a card in their graveyard. And stopping at combat rather than before we go to combat. Similarly. Trashmaster, does that change anything for me? So they would need another mana source to be able to give the Trashmaster haste. So maybe they crack Prospector here. That's still 3 blockers.
Wipe that smug look off your face.
Reminding you that Trashmaster can blow this up. But it is card disadvantage to do so. Nice. Also nice. Did I discard an Atraxa earlier? I did. Alright. We'll do this first.
Why hire servants when you can rise?
1, 2. Don't actually have an untapped mana source this turn, which is a little awkward. 5. I do not want to take the Atraxa.
By coin or carnage, tribute is owed.
Atraxa continues to be nuts. I don't really care if they get back squee at this point. I'm doing this because I want to gain life. Yeah. Alright. So they can play out squee and clear out Liliana most likely with their Goblin Bandit Lord. Hobgoblin Bandit Lord. But I don't think that they should be attacking into Atraxa if the goal here is to win. Sure, I'll block like this. You trade off your board for mine, but you know I have ways of getting back my win condition. Alright, well. One's going here and one's going here.
Go sow some chaos.
Death is ever present.
Yep. Very sure. Alright. My opponent doesn't scoop here. I don't know. Okay. Like, you got no cards. You're at 12. I'm 29. I would love these, please, and thank you. Don't think I need Thoughtseize. And Jordan's Edict seems kind of bad. So is Terra Sunder. I think I'll keep the Terra Sunder just in case. It does answer Unlicensed Hearse. And my opponent did see me go for a graveyard-based win condition. I don't think I have enough time for this Bank Buster, and they seem to have a fair amount of artifact destruction. given that they have the Trash Master and presumably have some better stuff on the board. So, let's run it like this. Hand is a little slow, but I do have a ritual set. My opponent showed me mono red. If they're splashing black, then they got me. Wily Goblin. Alright. Now the question is, do I blow up the treasure? And I honestly think I do. I want to slow them down. But I do want to get them with this ritual. So that makes me think that table here is okay. They're not going to be able to turn on Battle Cry, but I will be able to trade with the thing. I will still be able to trade with the thing. I will discard one Atraxa. Ooh. Okay. Now I think I do pull the trigger on the ritual. I have Fatal Push and a treasure. And then I can get this chariot up. So this is actually going to also turn on my Fable. Or sorry, my Fatal Push. Words are difficult. Hit that. Play that. I've got a board. You don't really have a board. Another Bandit Lord. Sure. Let's see what I draw. Okay, fair enough. Play out Fable. I'm just gonna hit for 6 here. Make a copy of that one. It's a little bit better. Doing this sequence because Reflection of Kiki Jiki will be able to turn on the Fatal Push if needed. They are just dead, right? Yeah. So the plan here is make a copy of... I had a lot of fun, thank you. So make a copy of one of these. Crew here. Attack for 2, 4, 5. Or sorry, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Off the token. Yeah. Okay. So they are just Dobbs. Nice. So I believe that was number 3 or number 4. Let's check Untapped because I didn't remember to count. I think that was our 3rd. Bear with me. No, that was number 4. Awesome. Let's go to our last and final one. Because last and final are synonyms. You could tell I'm a little little loopy, and this deck is going great. Had a few runs with it earlier, and currently 5-0. Would very much like to keep it that way. The sand also seems great. Alright, so opponent showing me a Temple Garden start. That's probably a Thoughtseize hand. Witherbloom command. Alright, so this is Abzan Greasefang. I will take the command from them. They have two kind of clunky 4-drops. They don't have anything that bins. Alright, now they're kind of in this weird spot of, okay, what do I take? I think they probably take the cultivation. But that kind of leaves me with Ob and Chariot, which are higher impact spells. Okay, they did come to the same conclusion. Drawing the Transmog is amazing for us. Alright. I need my opponent to whiff for one turn.
You don't stand with me. You're my enemy.
Looks like they
goons
have.
will make quick work of you.
Unless this is Thoughtseize myself. Okay, no, they have tapped out. Even better. Do I want to give them a discard outlet? Not especially, but...
Pleasure doing.
Okay, they have chosen not to. Cool. Let's get this Atraxa online. This may prompt a concession. I would like a Terra Sunder, a Stomping Ground, a Liliana, a Chariot. Now the question is, do I want Transmog or do I want Thoughtseize? I think Thoughtseize is probably safest for me. I guess we're discarding a Stomping Ground. Alright, so they can clear out the Ob. I don't really care about that. If they do, I go up to 27. Yeah, didn't think so.
By coin or carnage, tribute is.
Alright, let's crash in. Yep, off it. Wonderful. I think that this is a very strong matchup for me. Alright, so Duress. I think I do want the Pithing Needles. Brotherhood's End feels kind of bad. Alright, so push is still fine, but probably fewer number. I don't think I'm going to have a lot of time for this Bank Buster. Plus, they're going to have answers to it with Witherbloom command. What else can probably get trimmed? Fable is kind of slow, so is Chariot. given what my opponent is trying to do. I can trim as well. So like I'm not really sure what makes the most sense to get rid of here. I assume it's trim on token producers. I can't keep a hand with no lands. This hand's not really functional. Put back in Atraxa, I guess. Land tapped. Get this hearse down, I guess. They are presumably going to have an answer to it. But this puts them off on a Grizzly Salvage kind of turn. Or not? Okay. Oh, they hit a Parhelia. And I'm going to eat a Parhelia. Okay. This lets me eat the Grease Fang. Sure.
When you're telling me what you know, you won't be outsmarting me.
Have this land. I would love to get rid of these two things. Oh, that's actually really nice. I can crew.
Knew this was a waste of time.
So I'm going to name Parhelia number 2. It's possible that they have a different, am I blanking on words? A different vehicle to bring back, but that's the one that kills me. So they could have a discard spell, in which case they get rid of the Transmog, but I still have Fable to dig my way out, and if they don't, I can Transmog this probably after combat. I'm going to make them do something. And if they are able to answer this in instant speed, I can... words. If they do this before I get the attack trigger, I can crew the unlicensed hearse and then transmog the hearse. If they let me just hit through, great, I'll get the treasure, and I'll get a little bit of filtering with the Fable. That being said, my opponent didn't have a great draw, and mine lined up really well with sideboard stuff. So that is 5-0 with Atraxa Reanimator. I guess Turbo Atraxa, because we're playing Transmog as well. This deck feels really good, honestly. I don't think I would change a thing. I am curious if 3 copies of Atraxa are enough. It seemed fine, but awkward draws might cause some issues there. I don't know if I want more Reanimator options beyond Liliana, if that's necessary. I wonder if there are any like rainbow lands I could theoretically be playing, or even just like light splash off the Triland, so that Atraxa is just a little bit easier to cast if I need to hard cast it. Right now, the only option is Fable of the Mirror Breaker treasure tokens, and unrealistically, a treasure token from the 3rd activation of Bankbuster. Either way, this deck felt like a lot of fun. I didn't get to ultimate the Ob on stream, but in my practice games, in 2 of the 3 games that I played, I was able to get the Atraxa down, find the Ob, immediately cast the Ob, and then dome my opponent for 7 after having chipped away at them for the last several turns. That was a lethal hit. Deck feels great, feels like a lot of fun. Highly recommend it. And you can find all of these cards and the best bang for your buck for those cards at quietspeculation.com. Highly recommend them. Great group. You can find this video. Should be up on this upcoming Tuesday. Until then, I will see you all next week.